Okay. Welcome to Bryan Wood's team here for 2018. Bryan has selected two riders. One is Matt Fulton, 54-year-old veteran. He's been around the game a long time. And the youngster is Gavin Robertson from Scotland. And we're just going to have a few words with the lads to see what they've done in the past, and we're going to start with Mark at first. When did you start this motocross game, Mark?
A long time ago, 1972.
Yeah, 1972, and obviously you raced in the Cumbrian area at the time, and I think my memory serves me right, you rode Suzuki's to start with?
Yeah, TS 100s was it?
Yeah, TS 100s.
Something like that. And
I think your dad Rocky got maybe a little bit of help from Eddie Crooks.
Eddie Crooks, yeah, RMs. We went up to RMs, Eddie Crooks.
And RM 100s.
Yeah, RM 100, first bike I ever got, proper motocross bike.
And that association was through your dad, who was obviously a reputable road racer at the time.
Yeah.
Eddie Crooks was a big road racing man.
Yeah, that's what the connection was.
Yeah, and then you done reasonably well, and obviously that got you into a Beamy Suzuki ride, who was the Suzuki importer at the time.
Yeah, I was fortunate to get a ride with Beamy Suzuki, which helped us along my career, schoolboys, and then moved on to Kawasaki for the last year with Alec Wright, Team Green.
Was that through a dealer, Mark, or was that direct with Team Green at the time?
That was direct.
All right.
Yeah.
So obviously you'd made your map there, obviously, to go right into the Team Green setup there.
Yeah. For being up north, it was pretty unheard of for a northerner to be in that team because they're all southerners.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And then that was obviously into the 125s.
Yeah, 125 Kawasaki.
There is a story to be told there about there was a few southern riders yourself up for the ACU championships, and I think in one of them you actually broke your wrist and you couldn't compete, so you couldn't win that.
I didn't. The last year on Kawasaki, it was me, Andy Nichols, Kelvin Tatum in the team, and which was a very strong team. 3 riders in. Alec believed he can get the 3 best riders, you're going to win the championship probably.
Yeah.
And I think I won the British 2-day that year. Andy Nichols won the ACU, and then it went down to the champion of champions at Golden Barn.
And this Champions of Champions was the highlight of the year. It was a big event which kind of launched the new models for the following year, and there is a tale in that story about from Alec Wright, who was one hell of a guy, Alec.
Yeah.
And he actually brought the bike in a crate in a helicopter and landed it in the pits.
Yeah, I can remember it well. It was me and Kelvin Tatum got our bikes that morning out of the crates, brand new bikes, and they built them up right in front of everybody, and we raced them all weekend. I think Andy Nichols, because he was down south near Kawasaki, he has his bike for a full week, practicing or testing or whatever.
So he'd be taunted to be the guy to win that.
They thought he was going to win that, yeah. But fortunately it didn't happen for him.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to win all 3 that weekend. So they actually named that bike, which was I think it was the A7, Matt Fulton replica.
Matt Fulton replica, yeah. So that obviously was a good stunt for Kawasaki, because it was all about selling bikes at the end of the day, and that was Alec's main goal, to keep the game.
Plus, that track where it was at Golden Barn, that was Suzuki test track.
Yes.
Tony McNeice had been on the water-cooled Suzuki all week practicing there.
Yeah.
So they had him down to win that as well.
Tony was another Cumbrian lad.
Yeah, he was riding for Beamish that year. He'd been down there practicing on that track that week on the water-cooled Suzuki, because the Kawasaki's were still air-cooled that year, mind.
Yeah.
Suzuki's obviously water-cooled, but I just seemed to have a good meeting.
A good day that day, yeah.
Yeah.
And you've had quite considerable success throughout the years, Mark, but we won't go into every deal you had, but you've done quite well for yourself. You're well known and is respected as a rider as well.
Yeah.
And you moved on there, and I do remember you riding Kawasaki's in the British Championships,
Yeah.
250s, Kajiva as well. You ended up with a deal with Kajiva riding their little 190,
Yeah.
which was really good because it was really underpowered, but you had some fantastic results on the but it was
Not
you and
qualified, top
Paul
40.
Hunt possibly?
Paul Hunt and Bettison.
Yeah,
I had some good battles with Tony Craig on the Honda 500
Yeah.
and the 190.
yeah.
Which was a good year. That would be 83.
83, that's right, because the following year Kajiva had to bring out their full 500, which never came out because he's ended up with two 190s again, and then he's had Yamahas with
490s.
490 Yamahas with Kajiva stickers on them, and that was just to get to them bigger championship races.
Get on the top 40 lineup with them.
And the guy who actually run that team for Kajiva was Alec Wright's right-hand man, was Mike Carter,
Yeah, Mike
who's
Carter.
another very friend of ours.
Yeah, very good friend.
We've known for years. And then you moved on for them, and then you got a deal with Mickey Oates.
Yeah, got a Mickey Oates deal.
Before that, you had a little deal with me, with the Kajivas, through Mike Carter again.
Yeah.
And then you moved to Bill Brown.
Yeah, I went to Bills for 85-86 season, Mayco's.
Yeah.
British 250 championships, and 500s obviously.
Yeah.
In the team then was me, Willie Simpson and Pete Mafia.
Yeah, all good riders,
Yeah.
And the races then, Mark, in the British Championships, they were long races,
Yeah.
You know, they were long races, you had to be in top of your
40
game.
minutes.
40-minute races, you had to be in top of your game.
Yeah,
You know.
it was very hard to get in the top 20. If you
Yeah.
got in the top 20,
Yeah.
there was that world class of riders in there like your Kurt Nichols, Thorpe,
Yeah.
Nicey, Neil Hudson,
Yeah, Watley.
Watley, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
So if you were getting in the top 20, you were quite...
You were good enough.
Yeah, you were
Yeah, you
doing
were good.
alright.
So you've learned your skills and your crafts throughout this, and now you're just doing it for fun, and we would say now.
Yeah, I do feel like
Your friend Brian has got some nice bikes here, and we thank Brian for all his help.
Yeah.
So this year we'll be doing, I believe through Brian again, we'll be doing some selected events. We're not racing every weekend.
No.
Because of your work commitments and other things. So we'll leave Mark at that, and thanks very much, Mark. Yeah, welcome back for take two here. We have this second round of the team who's new for 2018, is Gavin Robertson. This is the first time you've seen the bikes, Gavin. These are obviously very impressive bikes. What do you think of them?
Amazing. Some pieces of kit, their attention to detail on them is unbelievable. You think they've just come right out of a factory showroom.
Yeah. So unfortunately the weather is scuppered today because we intended to get you out for a little PR run and stuff like that, but that'll happen another day now when the weather breaks. You started your career as a schoolboy probably when you're about 6 or 7 years of age, is that right, in Scotland?
That's right,
Yeah, and you come up through the ranks of the schoolboys. Have you had any success with schoolboys there in Scotland?
The Scottish Championships throughout the years, 60cc, 80cc, 125 adults, and then into the adult ranks at 16.
And you would have probably found that when you come into the adult ranks it's a different ball game completely, eh?
Yeah, it was tough. When you go in at 16 years old, you're like the youngest on the line, and back then it was, you had to qualify in races, and you had to like put your neck on the line to just make sure you were doing top 40. So it was competitive, and there was a lot of fast guys.
And this time when you're doing it, was it was it yourself that financed it with your parents, or did you have any help from anybody else? Have you a couple of small sponsors? Or?
We had a couple of small sponsors, obviously parents, they've helped me all through my career.
Right.
We had a couple of sponsorship tyre deals, and Rock Oil helped us out here and there. I've had a lot of help from Bill Brown through the years at Will Sport, and just people coming along. And
you thank them for all that, yeah.
That's it.
So now you've got this opportunity there, and I think there's probably potentially be about 10 meetings out of these bikes at prestigious events that Bryan wants us to do. And you have your own Evo bike as well, and I believe you've got a bit of success on the Evo bike as well, in the 250 class?
Yeah, when the modern stuff kind of started slowing down for me a bit and was kind of came away from that, I got into evolution. I built a bike, a 1988 CR 250, and built it in tail end of 2011, and then I raced that in 2012 in Scotland, won the Evolution Championship. And the following year on the same bike, they had an ACU British Evolution Championship running, so I went and competed that and won that. So really I just kind of, as soon as I jumped on the Evolution bike, I just kind of fell back in love with motocross again, and just I've been at it ever since.
It is, people lose sight of it, but I think you've got to enjoy what you're going to do.
Definitely.
And I know, hearing through the grapevine, that you have been at that time with this little 88 doing some modern beatings against the modern guys with the 4-strokes and noising up a few, I would say.
I
enjoyed that. It's a good chuckle.
The apple car a little bit. It's good to go and just remind them that a bike's a bike, but you've got to ride it. So.
Yeah, I remember somebody, it was George Crichton that told me, who's here today, who's managed to influence Bryan to get you on these bikes. He went to a meeting at Tinto and Craig True was there with Suzuki, I believe. I think they were having a dice with the 88 bike, and Craig didn't take it too well.
It's good racing and
all good fun.
I suppose it's at the end of the day the bike's an old bike, but if it's set up right, it can do everything that a modern bike can. So.
And I would say that the Evo British Championship we won, there's a lot of travelling involved in that for where you stay. That's the burner in it, isn't it? Yeah,
I did think about doing it the following year again, but I mean, I think there was one meeting north of Bristol, and when you stay the north side of Edinburgh, you're 6 hours before you even reach Bristol, and then you're on a bit further, so it's a lot of time and a lot of money just travelling up and down the country. So.
And obviously at the end of the day, we're all working men. I've got to go to work on a Monday morning to keep the bills going in. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you on these bikes, and we know that I'm hoping that you and Matt will bond together, and Matt's got loads of experience, and maybe you can bounce things off each other and help each other along the way, and I think it's potentially would be a good thing. So thanks very much for coming today.
No problem.
Yeah, we're doing a bit of backtracking here, which is really my fault. And when Matt won the Champions of Champions and his time was up in the schoolboys, Kawasaki's head man Alec Wright always had this other championship, it was the AMCA in England, who liked his riders to go into it. It was a grading step as it would be to get them into adult racing. First guy to do it was Dave Thorpe, and we all know who he is and moved on to a successful career. And the second one was Gary Evans, who was AMCA champion and IMBA champion, which is a European round. And Mac also went into that as well, and learned more trade out of that, and met loads of people, new friends, new contacts. And I believe he actually won the...
Won the 250 championship, and then fortunate to win the IMBA as well. We'd missed in the first round because they didn't think I was obviously up to the task. But the second round was in England and I won all 3 races, so they had to send me to the rest of the rounds after that. Final round was in Germany. Travelled there with John Reynolds, a good motocrosser and superbike British champion. We both went over in one van, and fortunate to win all 3 races in Germany, so that gave me the IMBA title as well, which really proud to follow Dave Thorpe and Gary Evans through.
Oh, for sure, So I suppose out of that then, I mean, Alec Wright, he was always good at picking potential. He knew you'd work for the job, and that got you the next stage, which was into the ACU. So we do understand at that time, you would have been a paid rider at that time, Matt, were you?
Paid right through,
You paid right through. Was it handsomely paid, or was there a bonus there, or what was it?
Well, there was a bonus system in place, but made a living, a good living out of it. I would have said, should have maybe done a bit better, but broke my leg in '82 at the first round of the British 125 Championship, which cost us 4 or 5 months out.
I do remember an old friend of ours who was British champion, and well-respected man, Vic Allen.
Yeah.
When we were in the Team Green set-up, Vic got in the training, and Vic took a bit of shine to you.
Lags we were at, remember that?
Yeah, and I just remember recently there I went to Nostalgia last year, and I was racing myself. I managed to get second overall in the group, and Vic was there, and he said, "Oh, spot on." But he did say to me, "You're still in contact with Mark?" And I said, "Yeah, we're still in contact." He said, "That lad would have been British or more into the World Championship if he hadn't broke his leg." Then
it rocked us. Bit unfortunate, but that's racing, and quite lucky that I didn't have a lot of big injuries.
So you're here to live the dream, Mark, is it to be here and
tell
the stories?
Yeah, I can tell the story too, John. You're just like yourself.
But anyway, no, I've known Mark since a long time, and his family, and we hope that everything will work well for next year. And it's a pleasure, Mark.
Cheers, John. Thank you.
All right, welcome back to the Bryan Wood stable, and we've got Bryan here today with us, who is the actual owner of these machines that Mark Fulton and Gavin Robertson will be racing, and then obviously we know that they've been built by the expertise of Stewart Bland. We just really asked Bryan, how did you get into this? You know, because you obviously did a little bit of motocross yourself. And how come you ended up getting these bikes? You know?
I rode myself years ago, on and off. Always been friends with Mark Fulton, and in 2010 he rode at Farley Castle on one of Paul Bird's 2-stroke Kawasaki's, and we sort of that rekindled the job.
You got hooked up then?
Aye, we got hooked up again then, and we built him a couple of 250 Evos, and we raced them at Farley for a few years, and then we decided to go into the Twinshock because it's better crack, more of a social thing.
So a bit enjoyment then, Bryan, for you?
Yeah, more enjoyment for us. And Stewart Bland built us the 480 initially. We raced that for a couple of seasons quite successfully, and then this bike behind us here, this is the latest one, the full 500, and Mark's been going really well on it this last season, so we're looking to improve on that, and we're getting young Gavin on board to ride the 480 and do some selected events, and we'll just take it from there.
Yeah, it's, we understand that Mark can't do all the meetings because there's other commitments that he does, and so we spoke about it for some time ago and about another rider, and we are hoping that both guys will bond. I'm sure they will, and bounce a few things off each other and help each other out. But it's a pleasure talking to you, Bryan. It's actually a pleasure to see some beautiful machines like they are actually works of art. Anybody who sees these bikes, you know, is just really flabbergasted. The amount of hours and time that's spent in them, and we really thank people like yourself, Bryan, for letting these guys race these bikes because there's a bit of investment here, you know what I mean?
Well, a lot of the credit goes to Stewart Bland. Stewart built them.
Yeah.
And
he's not a bad lad, is he?
No, he's alright.
No.
He's alright, yeah. No, he's good.
He has got a bit of a nickname, of course, hasn't he? You know, do you know about that nickname?
I don't want to go into that.
No, we won't bother getting into that. We'll take that for another take some other time, like, you know. But yeah, he's a good lad, and it's all about experience for theirs. And as Stewart, we interviewed Stewart earlier, and he said you'd rather do proper. You know, it's not cheap, but we do proper. So we're going proper racing.
Job,
And as you said, you enjoyed the Twinshock game because there's a lot of characters there, and there's a lot of good crank. And we thank Christopher Montegani for filming it, because without these guys to let the public know through his YouTube channel and stuff, it's all good fun.
Yeah, much appreciated. Yeah.
So anyway, thanks very much, Bryan.
Cheers, John.
Cheers. Okay, welcome back to the Bryan Wood stable. And beside me I've got some two good friends that I've known for a long time. There's George Crichton on my right and Archie Baird on the left. What we were going to ask here was, we know that we've got young Gavin Robertson in the team, and we were just going to ask how this came actually about. So I asked George Crichton here about we were looking for a rider to complement the team. It had to be a certain type of rider, not so anybody come onto the team just to take. And we asked George, and you come up with Gavin. Is that right, George?
Yeah, I was looking for somebody that could ride an older school bike and could ride on.
And we obviously know that you've known Gavin for some considerable years. He comes from your neck of the woods, is that right, yeah?
He's a fifer for that.
Aye, so it'll be very tight with his money, just look at him.
Oh.
So yeah, no, we thank, I believe that Brian's happy with what we've got here, and the emphasis is for 2018 to put a good show and let's enjoy ourselves. And we thank you for seeking out Gavin, and it's took a long time to get him into this team, so we hope everything works well for you. Thank you very much, George. Okay, welcome back to the Bryan Wood stable again, here in the deepest of Cumbria. Back with the riders, and what we're talking about this time is a promotion for Drumlanrick Castle, which is the club's second event, which is a very successful event in the first year, in 2017. And we know we have got various riders from America, Holland, France, England, wishing to come to this event, which is going to be held in July 15th and 16th, 2018. The main sponsor for this is AMD, which is Fraser Dykes, who's an enthusiastic person, and without Fraser we couldn't have done this. Fraser, because of enthusiasm, last year we had Graham Noyce here as a guest of honour, but this year his childhood rider he used to watch was Brad Lackey. Myself and Archie Baird and them went to America this year with our co-pilot Willie Brown. We started the ball rolling, talking to Brad, and he was keen in coming. So the deal has been set. Brad will be here, and I believe he's coming for a week, so there'll be all sorts of shenanigans going on during the week, interviews, etc. And we know he has a big fan base. One things we wanted to talk about here was these two riders. Gavin were his first Twinshock race there this year, and I believe he won the group overall.
Yep.
And Matt's got all the experience of racing.
Second overall.
Second, yeah? Yeah, okay. And Matt's got very lot of experience on the grass Twinshock tracks, and I just want to ask, first of all, you, Matt, what did you think of the venue?
The venue's second to none, John. Throughout my career I haven't been anywhere quite like that venue. Track was well organised, well laid out, just a real fantastic venue to host the meeting.
And we know we have a big emphasis in down south, it's Farley Castle. What the Scottish people in Fraser there are saying is, come to our castle. Some of the riders we spoke to get into the track, they've got to come straight up to head straight into the castle. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe how we managed to get into this ground to hold a motocross event.
Yeah, really impressive. I know when I showed up this year and we drove up towards the castle, I couldn't believe there was a motocross track anywhere near it. But it was a really good event. Definitely the main event of my year, going there to race. So.
And how did you find the track itself? Because Saturday it was a bit wet and a bit slippy and caught a lot of people off guard, even including yourself.
Yeah.
But the track, even for me now, it was very challenging. The track had everything in it.
Yeah, just an old motocross type track really. It had everything in, adverse canvas, hills, you know. It's how motocross or scrambling used to be when I first set off, just natural terrain. And I think that's the pull for a lot of people. They don't, you know, no supercross style jumps. And I think that's the way forward, the old type tracks again.
Yeah.
So,
and I know this year we're going up in January to lay out the circuit again, and we've got a few things in plan to make it even better. So this will be really looking forward to that. And for you, Gavin, it was your first time on a Twinshock bike, and you're used to riding more modern tracks with big double jumps and tabletop jumps, etc. What did you think of experiencing the track then?
Yeah, that's right, the first time ever on a Twinshock. Bill Brown was kind enough to lend me one of his Maples through George there for the weekend, so you know, I had a kind of
fun weekend.
It was a fun weekend. I had to get used to the Twinshock pretty quickly, and I mean, the track suited the bike perfectly.
Yeah.
I don't think a modern bike wouldn't have handled the grass the same as a Mako did, you know, it just fitted the bike perfectly, so yeah, I had a great time.
So out of that there, it's obviously led you on to this team here, and we hope you have a really enjoyable time. I'm sure Bryan will look after both of you, so we thank Bryan, Stewart Bland and everybody else who's associated to his team, and not Bill Brown from Wolf Sport, because we know he's supported both yous for a number of years now, and probably years longer, Mark. And although he can't be here today, we thank him for all his support, and he supplied you with your helmet, boots and all the gear. So thank you very much, and thanks guys, and look forward to seeing you out on the bikes.
Thank you.